What's up? Welcome to London360 Unplugged, our series special on creativity and culture in the capital. As the creative arts continue to have a great influence on our communities, opinions and even state of mind, we lift the lid on several topics within the UK art scene. We'll kick things off by looking at words. How important are words in creative arts? Is it all about the image and sound, or are words still important to genres such as UK rap? Let's take a look.
Understand what he's saying? No, neither do I. This was rapper Hopsin's parodical take on the state of modern rap. A genre of music known for clever wordplay, some feel is now lacking in thoughtful content and full of mumbled words, leading some to question the importance of lyrics in mainstream music.
I be the stereotype, I never finished college, never went uni, I've sold drugs and my credit's so bad.
Grime MC Cadet has gained a reputation for his brutally honest and personal lyrics, and feels songs with meaning live longer in the memory.
You can take a sentence out of like a James Brown song and be like, okay, you can actually apply it to your life, do you know what I mean? With actually saying something rather than just talking. Because a lot of rappers nowadays just talk just because it sounds good, but it doesn't actually mean anything. There's a lot of people that actually have lived forever, a lot of musicians that live forever because they go from just saying stuff to it that sounds good, but has like a melodic sound or whatever, to actually saying something worth saying.
When I grew up listening to albums and they took me places, do you know what I mean? I could listen to stories, like, and especially now with a bunch of artists that are really, you know, like telling stories in their records, and like Stormzy charted with a freestyle. Like there wasn't a hook to break things up. You're listening to what he's saying. So for me, you know, I'd never want to dilute what anyone does.
While for some, lyrics play a huge part, for others, even if you can't understand what's being said, it's all about
the vibe.
The vibe.
Because it's a vibe.
The vibe is important.
Michael Jackson is a perfect example. Can anybody tell me what he says in Don't Stop Till You Get Enough? Nobody knows. They don't know. But he's just a vibe. He's just singing. It's a vibe. Nobody really knows what he's saying.
I feel like connection is key, and connection comes from every aspect of music, be it the beat, be it the bass line, be it the lyrics or the delivery or the sounds or whatever, you know? As long as it connects, it's a hit to me.
You're in a club and you're drunk and the music's coming on, you're moving. You ain't going, oh my God, what a beautiful sentiment. Oh, did you hear what he said? You're not thinking like that. You're like, hey, yeah, let's go, boom, boom, and that's it. It's just fun.
rap music and offensive, controversial lyrics have seemingly always gone hand in hand. While TV and radio with censor content, a lot of music in 2016 is promoted and digested by young people through online platforms such as GRM Daily, giving artists free reign over content. So for some of music's tastemakers, the words in a song are not such an issue, as long as it's a hit.
To be honest, what I'm here for is to expose musical artists to the culture and to the audience. I don't care if they're lying in their raps, I don't care if they're telling the truth in their rap. We don't really necessarily, I have to admit, take into consideration what people are saying, as long as people want to hear it.
Sometimes if it's homophobic or if it just has, you know, any, like you said, any of the other phobics, that can be sort of insidious, right? I do try to be somewhat mindful about it, but at the same time, if I try to be like as strict about it as maybe what my personal beliefs are, I probably couldn't be a DJ.
I'm not just gonna play lyrics, no a cappella on my show. So the beat's gotta be right, and the beat and the lyrics together have gotta be right. It's gotta be a song. So yeah, lyrics are important, but not as important as the song.
So what do you think? Do lyrics matter?
While some elements of the creative arts are respected, do genres that come from the urban city life, such as UK Rap and Grime, get the respect they deserve? We went to investigate.
Grime originated around about the year 2002-2003. It came out of the back of garage, UK garage. It was just a very urgent, very important, a very needed scene at that time.
From Brit So White to Azealia Banks' Twitter rant, Grime and UK rap has been making the news. However, many feel that UK urban music does not get the respect that it deserves.
Predominantly black music genres, grime, hip hop, tend to get very little respect.
I think that the way I read Shakespeare and the way I would read J Electronica lyrics aren't different.
Exactly the same way that Shakespeare was a communicator. He was like a person that talked about what was happening from whether it was poor people to the palace. In exactly the same way our rappers of today do that.
Each song, I wrote it as a poem. There was no music. It was just a cappella pieces. So the idea of it becoming rap was secondary. The original intent was to create a piece of literature.
Funk, soul and jazz are just a few of the elements hip-hop and rap has taken from various sounds. But some argue that the fact that the majority of rappers don't play instruments has led to the genre being viewed with less prestige.
The level of Charlie Parker, Coltrane or Duke Ellington playing this music, I wouldn't just say in hip-hop, I would say in modern music generally, there's nobody reached that level. The honesty. I'm saying, this is what I get from the older generation of black musicians, is there's an honesty.
I don't want to play a violin. I want to be me. I want to do what I want to do.
I'd put someone like Dizzy Rascal up with those people, 100%. And when you think of something like Boy in the Corner as an album and how he created that and how he turned his environment into a piece of art.
Hip-hop doesn't need an instrument to be as a powerful music form. It's up with any classical music that you could ever put in front of me.
Despite numerous chart successes, some question whether UK urban music can create a truly global star.
There's a lot of people that are making a lot of money from grime music. If the mainstream or America don't want to listen to it, that's absolutely fine.
As I sit here, like Skepta's gone #2 with his album. He's taking the sound around the world. He's selling albums and selling out shows. But whether or not it's recognised, it's an amazing art form and an exciting one.
Grime now, it's a celebration of the English accent and the English grittiness. But, you know, London Posse were doing that in late '86. People don't want to consider the implications of the whole culture. So if that means it's not getting its respect, then it probably won't ever.
We respect ourselves more to make this music. I don't think we were looking for respect from anyone else. That's why I think grime has slowly and surely become cultural rather than just a moment or a pop record.
Whether or not it gets the respect it deserves, for the future of UK hip-hop and grime, many have a positive outlook.
Can an act come out of grime and cross over and go internationally? Hell yeah.
People can actually see that it's become a lifestyle and a way of life, and I think for me personally, it's about time, and I think it's onwards and upwards for the grime scene and UK rap music in general.
Diversity has been a buzzword in the media for quite a while now, but in the creative arts, are we all borrowing, stealing, or celebrating from each other's cultures? Cultural appropriation is a catchphrase of the moment, but what does it mean? Let's have a look.
Every generation has some form of appropriation or some form of blurring of a line.
There has been a lot of talk and criticism over Beyoncé and Coldplay's representation of the Indian culture in their Hymn for the Weekend video. Vanessa Hudgens wearing bindis, Iggy Azalea rapping with a Southern American accent, Miley Cyrus twerking, the Kardashians fashioning cane rows as box braids, and more recently, Justin Bieber's dreadlocks. These are all examples of cultural appropriation in music and entertainment, where people are adapting other cultures and possibly not giving credit to it.
I was raised up on jazz music my entire life, and then on hip hop, and then, you know, R&B is in there too. So it's like, however something comes out, that's kind of how it comes out. I don't think that's the case for Iggy Azalea. I think what's happening is that she's directly seeing what is successful.
When I was on tour with the Jets, like, we at times wore an American Indian headdress, which was called a war bonnet. At one point, whilst we thought it was cool and we thought it was a representation of culture, I did research and the rest of the band did research, and eventually we deduced that it wasn't okay. Like, it's not a fashion statement, it's not a fashion item. This is a garment worn by people who have achieved certain ranks in their tribe, and for us to be able to wear it in a certain way is kind of a detriment or disrespect to that particular culture.
I read something that was saying, you know, you go to a gospel church on a Sunday and you can find 10 Adeles in one place, but why are we not hearing them on the radio when I know they're out there to be discovered? I've kind of questioned this whole idea of who am I to set up a female neo-soul platform as a white young female? Am I going to come against discrimination? And I think that it's about acceptance in both directions.
Culture in music, fashion and cuisine have influenced and contributed to London's diverse society. People's styles are often influenced by colours and patterns adapted from different cultures.
I believe they're open to wear whatever they want. I mean, it's up to them. If they want to wear something from a different culture, I mean, it's only clothing. Doesn't matter if they like it, if someone else likes it or not. It's about how you wear it and how you present yourself.
Some people feel that in some cases culture is being exploited, whereas others feel it is being celebrated.
It's not like braids can't be worn by a white person, or, you know, white person can't enjoy Afrobeats. I think it's, if someone takes it and then changes it and flips it completely and doesn't give credit to where it originated from, that's an issue. I think it's about identity. It's much deeper than just taking something and flipping it and saying cane rose is now box braids.
You can take things from other cultures. I do. I study Chinese martial arts. I study Tibetan meditation, but I have a respect for it. I understand its roots and I understand its true purpose and meaning. And that's what gets me about people that, a lot of people that wear dreadlocks as a kind of fashion statement. That's all it is, it's just a fashion statement.
They're spreading our message to the masses. You need to take into consideration the amount of followers they have. How many people are going to start braiding their hair now? When they look at the history, where does it come from? It comes from us.
If fashion is being adapted by culture, I think it's by all means necessary. We should be right.
But people don't know a lot about what we care about and what we find important. And however they find out, I think it's a good thing.
It breeds debate, and debate breeds knowledge.
Stay locked in to London360 Unplugged. Coming up next, we look at a genre of music which has exploded onto the mainstream and explore how music therapy is benefiting those suffering with mental health problems and difficulties. Welcome back to London360 Unplugged. Before the break, we looked at whether words make a difference when it comes to genres like rap, the respect of different genres as an art form, and cultural appropriation. Various and diverse cultures are what make London so unique, with more communities influencing different lifestyles. Next, we look at how the popularity of music genre Afrobeats is making an impact on the UK's African and Caribbean communities.
The Afro-Caribbean community makes up a total of 4.2% of the population in England. With such a rich culture, the community have contributed in many ways to British society, ranging from food, fashion, hair, and music. The music genres within the Afro-Caribbean community are often divided based on nationality. Bashment, dancehall, reggae, and soca are genres usually associated with the Caribbean, whereas Afrobeats, highlife, and Fuji are sounds coming from Africa.
In London, things have phases. It's only one at a time, innit? You know what I mean? When it was garage alone. Innit? So there was other underground things. When it was grime alone. When it was funky alone. House alone. Afrobeats is kind of just, now it's their time to shine.
The Caribbean community has historically had greater influence within London's black scene. In more recent times, the African community have stepped into the limelight, excelling in the areas of sport, film, and music, particularly with the rise of Afrobeats. However, instead of this dividing the community, it has been celebrated.
When I was very young, there was a dynamic between Africa versus the Caribbean. It then evolved as I grew up to various countries within Africa or the Caribbean, and now we celebrate it all together. And it's very uniting in that sense, I think.
There are loads of Africans who just want to be like, you know what? Yeah, Bashment is cool, but I'm African and this is what we do.
A lot of different cultures. It's not necessarily the music, it's the vibe and the feeling that you get from it.
I have a few like Jamaican friends who have started listening to Afrobeats, which has gone hand in hand, and as you can tell, it's a similar BPM, it's a similar music.
Music that comes from the Caribbean or from Africa sometimes share a similar sound or message, but there are also distinct variances between the two.
Differences that I've seen in terms of bashment or dancehall and Afrobeats is the negative lyrics. I do music myself, so I find that the hooks on Afrobeats are a lot more catchy. I'm not African, I'm Caribbean, but I find myself singing a lot of the Afrobeats music. I haven't got a clue what I'm saying, but I love it.
Afro-Caribbean music and African music is very similar in sound. We are all African. All of the beats, the drums, the percussion, it all originates from Africa.
I think it's dancehall music doesn't really get airplay on sort of radio, mainstream radio, and I think that's what we need for dancehall to be the equivalent, because I'm sure if you can remember at one point, dancehall was the predominant one.
I think the Afrobeats now actually has kept the essence. Like you can listen to Afrobeats and almost feel like an African culture in it, which I feel like sometimes Bashment has lost a little bit.
A lot of it has just become more about sex and vulgar lyrics, because I was raised on rugger around my dad and my mum, and when I used to listen to like Shabba and Buju and all of them, you still had Sizzler, you had all that different kind of consciousness getting kicked at you as well. And I think with Afrobeats being so happy and joyous, sometimes you do hear the difference when a Bashment tune comes on, because the very first thing you hear is explicit, 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 after you just heard dance and have a good time and all of that.
It's bringing Africans to the forefront, and it's bringing Caribbeans into African music in a way that it didn't.
So, musicians from the African diaspora are breaking into the mainstream slowly but surely. But can the same be said for the creative artists from the UK's Asian community? We checked it out.
I'm so proud every time I see a brown face do something in music. Not on a racial thing, but more just a case of I know how hard it was for me to try to break down a few stereotypes and all those, things that held me back from just being an artist.
Jay Sean was the first solo Asian music artist to break the charts in the UK and US. For the past decade, many more British Asian artists, such as Naughty Boy, MIA and Zayn Malik, are enjoying commercial success across the globe. Still, many feel that British Asian musicians are often overlooked, especially females.
If you've got a brown face, or you're from an ethnic minority, you've got a better chance of making it in America than you have of making it in the UK. And it's a shame because, we've got probably the most multicultural countries in the world, but there's barriers in their way because of preconceived notions.
It's relatively true that Asians have kind of been a bit more steered towards medical profession or a law or accountancy. Part of the reason for that is because of the older generation. It's changing. I think this generation, people are learning more and more about different professions that they could get into.
People need to open their minds a bit. People need to understand that even though I come from a certain ethnic background, even though I'm Asian, I make hip hop and I make urban music and I make jungle, and that's fine because especially in a city like London, it's a cultural melting pot and we're all allowed to borrow from different genres and mash it up and make it our own.
I'm not really into Bollywood like I used to be because it's trying to be too westernized, but I really want to collaborate with an Asian artist, but I just want to find the right one.
It's interesting to be asked why there aren't as many Asian artists on the front line. Azealia Banks obviously has shown an ignorance to the UK rap scene. I'm quite ignorant about the Asian music scene simply because I'm not into it. Doesn't mean I'm going to cuss it.
Some of the feedback I got from major labels or from a top A&R guy at the time was that I was Asian, 13, and I could be marketed. And that kind of stuck with me, and I thought, well, okay, if I'm not going to get there through commercial music, underground music then seemed to be the right way to go forward.
I know that there's girls out there who can sing amazingly. Like I said, they look great, they can dance, they can do all of that. Maybe it just really comes down to the song.
But I think Asian women in music have been doing a lot for like the past 3-4 years. I just always think that the way they're represented has always been a problem.
The BBC Asian Network Live hosted an event in London to celebrate current and emerging British Asian musicians by showcasing their rising popularity within and outside of their community.
I think for Asians it's been very useful to use online. The radio industry is one that really we need to harness to break a music artist. One of the reasons for that is because they feel that there's Asian radio stations that play Asian music artists and Asian songs. So why does a Radio 1 or a Capital or a Kiss have to also play it?
I haven't really seen too many Asians in mainstream music. It's because they don't really get promoted.
I think we need that one kind of pop star. We need that one hero, do you know what I mean? We need our Beyonce or our Taylor Swift. We need that. And it's great to see with kind of Asian male artists.
Naughty has been around for a long time. He's really grafted, he's perfected his craft, he's working with the right calibre of artists, which is great. I love playing his stuff on Kiss every day. Zayn's an excellent artist. It would be lovely to see some Asian females break through as well, and I think you'll see that next.
Pop stars are frequently accused of being frivolous celebrities, but often the music that they make has a deeper meaning and wider-reaching impact on people's lives, particularly when it comes to mental health.
Paranoia,
bipolar,
schizophrenia,
depression.
These are the words we associate with the term mental health. But did you know that according to the mental health charity Mind, 1 in 4 people in the UK will experience a mental health problem each year, especially in London, where there's a high need of mental health support. Jenna Jarrett is a radio presenter at Westside FM who wrote a blog about her experience with mental health.
I have borderline personality disorder and psychosis, and I also have bulimia. And it took me a long time to accept that I had an eating disorder because I thought to have an eating disorder you had to be severely underweight. But I finally went to the doctors and got some help, and I'm having therapy for it now. And I also have cognitive behavioural therapy, so it's it trains you to look at things in a positive way, in a different way, of thinking, which I find really helpful as well.
Despite these daily challenges faced by people, music is known to help them get through various moments in life. One approach to helping people is music therapy.
How we use music in music therapy is that it's a medium through which we can do therapy. So sometimes talking directly about issues and difficulties can be a little bit intimidating for people, can feel confrontational or just feel difficult. So having the music makes the therapy work less confrontational. And music inherently facilitates self-expression and the expression of emotion.
It's really fun and helpful. It's nice to socialise with other people that have mental health problems because you're all on the same page and understand each other.
Music producer Hannah V has worked with a number of artists including Rihanna, Jason Derulo and Tayo Cruz.
I really honestly believe music saved me again and again and again and again. I feel music can heal, I think music can unite, I think music is God's language.
For Jenna, the type of music is all important.
I find it quite relaxing to listen to. Classical as well, which I find very therapeutic, which is quite surprising because I usually listen to grime, so it's like the complete polar opposite.
Shaka is a music artist and producer who collaborated with Wretch3 too.
I always want to make sure that I am helping someone achieve or attain not necessarily happiness, but attain some form of movement. I like to move people.
Some performers find their music has a profound impact on people.
A fan will come up to me and literally will hug me and they start crying because they're like, I didn't ever think I was going to meet you, but your song got me through a very hard part in my life.
Young Londoners told us about their go-to tunes when it comes to lifting their mood.
If I hear Ice Cube, it was a good day right now, my day just becomes even more better.
You know what, I'll go with a weird one. I'll say Drake, Hotline Bling. It's like the beat is just so catchy and it just puts you in a good emotional experience.
While music therapy is one form of treatment, there are alternative therapies found in the capital. According to the charity Rethink Mental Illness, treatments include herbal medicine, yoga, meditation and mindfulness, and massages.
Yeah, I love to go in the park and write music, or like write lyrics and stuff like that. That really calms me down.
Going to galleries, going to museums, roaming around parks, just hanging out with my friends, seeing my family.
Finally, for those out there who are suffering, Jenna gives some very important advice.
The main piece of advice I'd give to someone suffering with mental health issues, whether they're diagnosed or struggling themselves, is talk to someone. No matter how difficult it is, you'll feel like a weight's been lifted off of your shoulders once you've spoken to someone.
Are different cultures getting their deserved shine? Do words make a difference? Find out more on communitychannel.org/London360. And you can continue the conversation about any of these topics on Twitter, Facebook and Snapchat with #London360 Unplugged. Let us know your views. Well, that's a wrap. Until next time.